Christmas is around the corner, so let's talk about tips on how to shop for presents for the INTJ. These tips are not specific to Christmas. It could be for birthdays, just regular anniversaries or anything. When it comes down to an INTJs, there's a very specific way of getting us presents. It's extremely easy to get an INTJ a present, or it could be one of the most
difficult things you could do.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps a whole lot. Let's start off with a few misconceptions about INTJs. Yes, INTJs do like getting presents. We're humans. Of course we like getting presents. Of course we like feeling special. I've kept presents from over 20 years ago because of how it either makes me feel every time I look at it or how thoughtful it was. Looking at those presents now makes me feel just bubbly, knowing that at that point in time, I was important enough for that person, for them to have given me that present. So yes, we do like getting presents, but what we don't like are getting bad presents. Don't be a papaya and get me something that I don't want or need. And if we really need it, we would have probably gotten it ourselves unless we're physically or financially unable to get it. The exact opposite happens whenever we receive a present that we either don't want or don't think that we deserve. Like, I can't even think of the word right now. Unhappiness. It's also extremely stressful for an INTJ to shop for presents because it's not second nature for us, which essentially leads to INTJs preferring not to buy presents for anyone because we don't want to have to go through that exchange of, hey, I got you something, so you should probably get me something. It's not comfortable for us. The last thing you should also know as an INTJ is that we're not very emotionally expressive people. So you should never expect us to be jumping all over the place whenever we receive a present, even though it's a present that we want or need. Feeling that much emotion in one instance without preparation is overwhelming. Eventually, once we regain our composure and once we understand how we're feeling and what we want to say, we're going to reach out to you and express our gratitude. But most likely, it's not going to be the moment that we receive the present. And if you're recording a video, don't expect us to be jumping for joy because that's not going to happen. The best that you might get is maybe us tearing up or crying in public. And that's only if you're lucky. Here are the 4 tips that I have when getting a present or a gift for the INTJ. Tip number 1. The cost of the present would not equate to how much we would like the present. So don't be a papaya and get upset if you spend $10,000 on a present and we don't show any gratitude because we just don't like the present. You have to understand that to most INTJs, cost doesn't equate love. However, if you're buying this person a house or a car, that's a great present. Of course, anyone would like that because of the functionality behind it, not necessarily because of the cost. However, the opposite is true as well. If you give us a cheap present without putting much thought into it, then you're just being a papaya at this point. And we'd rather you not get us anything in the first place. Tip number 2, don't get us impractical presents or presents that are very difficult to put away. What the hell am I supposed to do with an oversized beanbag chair when I live in a 350 square foot studio apartment? Is that supposed to replace my bed? I'm not sleeping on a beanbag chair. The external world stresses out an INTJ. We have low extroverted sensing, so anything that has to do with dealing with the external world, especially when it comes down to things being cluttered or things being in our way, it's going to stress us out. So here's an easy formula to remember. Functionality is greater than the cost of the present. Tip number 3, buying clothing is very difficult because we're brand agnostic. And my cat decided to be in the video. Say hi, Snow. Just because the clothes is the same brand or the same theme, let's say goth or emo, doesn't mean we're actually going to like that present. This is one of the cases where you're a beggar and you're a chooser. Because I'd rather wear the same clothes multiple days out of the week than wear something that I don't like. Here's tip number 4, and this is the most straightforward tip that everyone seems to ignore for some reason. If we straight up say we don't want it, then don't get it for us. We mean it. Unless you're absolutely certain that we're saying that because we're trying to be nice, or we're incapable of getting it, again, based off of financial responsibility or some type of ableism, then we don't want it. INTJs plan out so much, and getting nice things for ourselves, things that we actually want, is part of those plans. So if we say we want something, but we tell you not to get it, then we've already created a plan for us to receive it. Don't get in the way. And here we are to the point of the video where I will provide 4 different tips to consider when shopping for an INTJ. Tip number 1 is get something that has to do with an inside joke. INTJs are lone creatures. We tend to do things alone. We tend to want to be alone. So when we actually engage with the external world, engage with people that we care about, it's very far and few in between. We're rarely the life of the party unless we're intoxicated and just prefer to stay in the shadows, watching everyone be happy. So as an unsociable, I don't even know if that's a word, as an unsociable papaya, it harms our heart when there's a moment that you find precious that we both had together. Even if we don't remember that moment, we're going to appreciate it because it meant something to you. And the cost of a fond memory is priceless. So getting us something that has to do with an inside joke it's nice. And tip number 2, you can never go wrong with a practical gift. One year, I just wanted a memory foam pillow. Next year, I just wanted an ironing board. If you're going to give us a gift that makes our day better or more efficient, we're going to love it. But you have to keep in mind it has to do with something that we need and not something that you think we need, like a smoothie machine. What the hell am I going to do with a smoothie machine? I'm not going to make smoothies every day. I love smoothies, though. I'm not going to buy a bulk of it because if I buy a bulk of ingredients and I don't drink it every single day or for every single meal, then the food will go bad. And if the food goes bad, then I feel bad because I have to throw it out. And I'll feel bad because there are people out there that are starving that would probably want the food. You're getting me a present that's making me feel like a bad person. You're like, stop. Don't do that. Tip number 3, get us experiences. An INTJ, again, has extroverted sensing as our 4th cognitive function, which means we actually enjoy engaging with the outside world. We just don't prioritize it. So getting us experiences such as tickets to the plays, musicals, sporting events, concerts, just anything that your specific INTJ like, it's something that we're going to appreciate, especially if it has to do with something with you, as in you're buying us a ticket and we're going together to create an experience, which will eventually be a memory that we'll remember forever. And the thing is, it doesn't even need to be costly. If your INTJ enjoys putting puzzles together, just get like a 1,000-piece puzzle and set time aside for however many of you to put that puzzle together. The bread and butter of this tip, and I don't know if that's an actual thing or not, is to get your INTJ to do something that they have vocally voiced that they wanted it to do, but decided not to prioritize it. We will respect you not only because you have engaged with one of our lowest function and made us go out, but you're actually listening. And you actually listening means more to us than anything. Tip number 4, and this is the best tip that I could provide you. Nothing outbeats this tip. You can't do anything wrong if you follow this tip. Get the INTJ something sentimental. Even if we don't understand why it's sentimental, as long as you vocally express why it means something to you and why it made you think of us, we're gonna love and cherish it. INTJs love symbolism because that's just the way our minds operate. So you can get us a rock, a freaking rock. As long as it has meaning to it, such as a rock from the first place where we met, first kiss, or where our friendship actually began, it's going to be something that we cherish. But the rock has to have some type of presentation to it, though. You can't just put a random rock into a box and expect us to enjoy it. Don't be a papaya. Come on. That's ridiculous. A combination of sentimental and any of the other tips I provided, it's going to be a great gift that the INTJ will love. And for me personally, this is one of my favorite gifts. It's a coffee mug with my cat when she was a few months old. I am never going to get rid of this. Even if the mug breaks, I will find a way to make sure that it stays together because I love this gift to death. The gift is very simple, but it's nice. All right, don't be a papaya. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I put out a lot of content. I hope you get the INTJ the gift that they deserve. Thank you very much and happy holidays.